Hi, everyone, and welcome to Insights in Caribbean Intellectual Property, the official podcast of the Caribbean and Americas Intellectual Property Organization. I'm your host, Jenna Flannigan, along with Pete Manning. Today's topic is Unlocking Caribbean Innovation, the IP opportunity. Here's something that will blow your mind. In just 40 years, global intellectual property revenues exploded from $2.8 billion to $180 billion. That's not just growth, that's a complete revolution in how innovation shapes our world.
Those numbers are staggering. What's driving such explosive growth?
Well, it's this perfect storm of factors. Companies are getting super specialized, universities are jumping into the patent game, and we're seeing this incredible surge in international collaboration. But here's what's fascinating. While some regions are riding this wave, others are at risk of being left behind.
Hmm, let me guess. You're thinking about the Caribbean region?
Exactly right. The Caribbean is standing at this crucial crossroads. While middle-income countries have increased their R&D spending by 13% since the 90s, the Caribbean seems stuck in this innovation limbo, and the consequences could be huge.
So what's holding them back? It can't just be a lack of resources.
It's actually more complex than that. They're facing this triple challenge: no comprehensive IP framework, lots of institutional inertia, and, here's the kicker, they're not capitalizing on their unique advantages, like indigenous knowledge and climate change solutions.
That's really interesting about indigenous knowledge. How could that be leveraged?
Well, think about it this way. Global markets are increasingly recognizing the value of traditional knowledge. The report shows how universities went from filing almost no patents in the 1980s to over 15,000 by 2010. In 2025, the number has more than doubled. The Caribbean could do something similar with their unique cultural and environmental expertise.
But making that transition must be incredibly challenging. What would it take?
Look at how some Asian countries transform themselves into tech powerhouses. It starts with creating robust legal frameworks, but, and this is crucial, it's also about building innovation ecosystems. Universities, research institutions, private companies all working together.
That makes me wonder about the role of international collaboration in all this.
Oh man, that's where things get really interesting. The report shows this beautiful web of global innovation forming: researchers co-authoring papers across borders, multinational firms setting up R&D facilities in different countries. It's like this giant intellectual property dance.
You mentioned earlier about complex technologies. How does that fit into the picture?
So here's the thing. Modern tech is incredibly layered. A single smartphone might involve thousands of different patents. It's creating this fascinating challenge where innovation sometimes gets bottlenecked because patent systems are overwhelmed.
That sounds like it could be particularly challenging for regions just starting to build their IP systems.
Exactly. But here's the opportunity. They can learn from others' mistakes. The report suggests starting with efficient patent institutions and creating incentives for research organizations. It's not about reinventing the wheel, it's about smart adaptation.
What about the economic impact? How significant could this be for the Caribbean?
Let me put it this way. Remember those licensing numbers we talked about? That $180 billion in global revenues? That's the kind of opportunity they're missing out on. But it's not just about money, it's about preserving cultural identity while fostering innovation.
So, what would success look like for them?
Picture a Caribbean that's not just known for tourism, but as an innovation hub for sustainable development and cultural industries. Their universities joining global research networks, their companies developing patented technologies, their traditional knowledge being protected and commercialized.
That's quite a transformation. How urgent is this situation?
Well, every day they wait, the gap widens. The report shows how societies that embrace IP protection see this snowball effect. More innovation leads to more investment, which leads to more innovation. It's like compound interest for creativity.
This really challenges the typical narrative about development in the region.
That's exactly right. And here's what's most crucial. They don't need to follow the exact same path as developed economies. They can leverage their unique advantages while learning from others' experiences. but they need to act now.
What would you say is the most important first step?
Building that comprehensive regional IP strategy. But, and this is important, it needs to be more than just policy documents. It needs real investment in education, infrastructure, and institutional capacity. The report shows how countries that got this right saw dramatic returns.
This really brings home how IP isn't just about patents and trademarks.
You've hit on something crucial there. It's about economic development, cultural preservation, and creating a sustainable future. The Caribbean has this incredible opportunity to write its own innovation story, but the clock is ticking.
Well, this has been quite an eye opening discussion about the potential and challenges facing the region.
Indeed, and maybe in a few years, we'll be talking about how the Caribbean became the next great innovation success story. It's all about making those right choices now. Thanks for joining us on this episode of Insights in Caribbean Intellectual Property. Please follow us wherever you listen to this podcast so that we can let you know when there's a new episode. If you listen to us on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and share. See you next time!